Hello everyone, this is Charles Folkhart. Welcome. This video is going to be on my take on Trump. And let you know I haven't voted since 1992. It's about 24 years ago. And we're going to go into the reasons why I haven't in this video. So we're going to do a little bit of history that some of you may not be aware of. So let's go.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And in this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Yes, you are. You're gonna have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Well, there you have it, folks. Mr. Bob Dylan, he admits that he made a pact with, what did he say, the big commander? The commander in this world and the other. And then we heard a song, everybody must serve somebody. Some people serve Satan, and some people serve the Lord. So we all have to make our choice, and apparently he's made his. But he's not the only one. So let's have another look at a few other people who serve somebody, huh?
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
on.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look
Are
forward...
you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us.
Well, there you have it. They're involved in the secret society. Both John Kerry and George Bush Jr. And you can bet your bottom dollar that those people made a pact with the same entity that Mr. Bob Dylan made his pact with. In fact, I think if you do your research, you'll find out that all these guys, all these big shot politicians and power hungry and very wealthy people in the entertainment industry and music industry and politics, they all are members of this the secret societies who worship an entity that's directly opposed to what most of you people believe in and would agree with. Even if you're not a Christian or you don't serve the Lord, you're serving somebody one way or the other, by default or on purpose. Like I can mention some names: Beyonce, Madonna, Lady Gaga. And all you got to do is watch the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and you'll know who's involved in this. Anyway, these people control our world, and in exchange for that control and power, they've had to give up their soul. They've traded their soul for wealth and power and fame and fortune in this world. And there's a few of us who have foregone fame and fortune and wealth in this world for rewards in the next world. Let's have another look at a little bit of history here.
Read my lips. No new taxes. I will keep America moving forward, always forward, for a better America, for an endless, enduring dream and 1,000 points of light. This is my mission, and I will complete it.
Well, there we have George Bush Sr., and that was the last year that I voted. It was when he ran. And did you hear that? Read my lips, no new taxes. Well, that was a promise he made, I think in, '88. And guess what? He didn't keep his promise. I was making pretty good money at that time, and my taxes were just horrendous. You get to the end of the year, and you go into about this time of year, March, and you figure out all your taxes you owe to the federal government, which isn't doing squat for you, right? They're taking. You get to the end of the year, you work hard, you have your family to take care of, and you have all your business, and then you figure out how much you owe the government. And you begin to realize that you're not working for yourself, you're working for the government. So when George Bush lied like that and raised taxes, I said, the hell with that, I'm going to vote for somebody else. And I did. And thankfully, in '92, I had another choice. And we're going to look at that here now, too.
The candidates will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. So, President Bush, I think you said it earlier, let's get it on.
Let's go.
And I think the first question is over here.
Yes, I'd like to direct my question to Mr. Perot. What will you do as president to open foreign markets to fair competition from American business and to stop unfair competition here at home from foreign countries so that we can bring jobs back to the United States?
That's right at the top of my agenda. We've shipped millions of jobs overseas, and we have a strange situation because we have a process in Washington where after you've served for a while, you cash in, become a foreign lobbyist, make $30,000 a month, then take a leave, work on presidential campaigns, make sure you got good contacts, and then go back out. Now, if you just want to get down to brass tacks, first thing you ought to do is get all these folks who've got these one-way trade agreements that we've negotiated over the years, and say, fellas, we'll take the same deal we gave you. And they'll gridlock right at that point because, for example, we've got international competitors who simply could not unload their cars off the ships if they had to comply. You see, if it was a two-way street, just couldn't do it. We have got to stop sending jobs overseas. To those of you in the audience who are business people, pretty simple. If you're paying $12, $13, $14 an hour for factory workers, and you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, hire a young 25, that's assuming you've been in business for a long time, you've got a mature workforce. Pay $1 an hour for your labor, have no health care, that's the most expensive single element, making a car, have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south. So if the people send me to Washington, the first thing I'll do is study that 2,000-page agreement and make sure it's a two-way street.
Well, there you are, folks. Nothing's changed in 24 years. Ross Perot's talking about the same thing that Mr. Trump's talking about. Jobs overseas, bringing manufacturing back to this country. You got to remember that in 1971, while my government wanted me to go fight in Vietnam, just out of high school. This is 1971, mind you. We were told that we had to go fight the communists in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia for all the reasons that they made up. And at the same time, Henry Kissinger was there, and he's one of the chosen ones. For those of you with ears to hear and eyes to see, you'll know how important that is in this entire picture. He was over in China had a secret meeting with the Chinese to begin to transfer our manufacturing jobs to China. And if I can remember what Ross Perot was talking about, that great sucking sound going, our jobs were going to go to Mexico. Well, here we are 24 years later, and there's a lot of our jobs went to Mexico and China and other parts of the world. And people that are here in the United States are looking for work, can't find work. and we have another election, and they're doing the same thing to Donald Trump. Oh, they did the same thing to Ross Perot as they're doing to Donald Trump in 2016. They attacked him. They made the media made him seem like a kook, and that and they even there were threats on his life, and there was threats on the members of his family, and they did not want Ross Perot to become president. And I believe that if they had not threatened him, he would have had a very good chance of winning. And if you look at that smug look on Clinton's face, and you look at George W. Bush, you go back in this video and back it up and watch it again, they know that one of those two are going to win because they're in the secret society. They're in this group, the in group, and they've paid their dues, and they've sold their soul to Satan, and they know they're going to win. They know it's not going to be Perot. And just like today, I believe that the same people involved, like Hillary Clinton, they know that, well, I don't want to spoil this, but let's just continue on here, and let's do a little more more recent history, shall we?
I think, look, it's very sad. I heard 59 planes flew in from all over the world. These are people that are taking advantage of our country. These are people that I know, many of them. I can even look at their plane and say, who owns this one, who owns that one? I know them. And they're all flying in because, you know, they don't want to have strong borders. They want stuff flowing across the borders. They don't want to have taxation when countries treat us unfairly because they benefit from that. And we have to. Otherwise, we're going to continue to lose our businesses. I mean, you have China sending things into this country, no tax, no nothing. If you want to do business in China, it's almost impossible. And if you get your product there, you're going to pay a tremendous tax. But so, you know what? I want beautiful free borders. I want everything to be nice, but it doesn't work.
This is a
So what we had there was Trump explaining that there was 59 private jets that flew into an island off the coast of the United States there. I think it was South Carolina or Georgia. And they were conspiring together to see what they can do to keep Donald Trump from becoming the president. Now, let me say here, I don't think that there's a solution in politics. There's no political solution to the problems that Americans face. So I have no hope whatsoever in the process here, in the political process. This country is finished, and it doesn't matter who gets in or not. But I'm going to show you here in a minute where when they would conspire, when these people would conspire together, they used to do it in secret. And now they've got so much control, they don't even need to hide it. Trump knows. He knows those people that in those planes. He mentions it. He could tell you who owns this plane and that plane. And they're all meeting together, and it's public information that they don't want Trump to be president. And, you know, I laugh at you people that don't believe in conspiracy theories. What the heck do you think who do you think was in those 50 planes? Private jets, not planes, you know, jets. And they probably didn't go only one. There was probably a few hundred people there. And they're all trying to figure out, conspiring together, to figure out how to keep Donald Trump from becoming the president. And yeah, you know, what do you think these people are doing there? They're talking about their handicap on their golf game. I laugh at people when I talk to them about conspiracy theories, and they, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. I said, well, do you believe 19 heirs with box cutters pulled off 9/11? I had one guy tell me, well, you know, there are some acceptable conspiracy theories. You believe some of the answers these people get? Anyway, I want to show you a conspiracy theory that took place back in early 1900s, 1912, I think it was. So let's take a look at that clip before I end up here.
The Fed was formed not in Washington, D.C., not in the halls of Congress or some meeting room, but it was formed on a private island off the coast of Georgia called Jekyll Island. This island in those days was a club called the Jekyll Island Club. And its members were a relatively small group of billionaires from New York, people like J.P. Morgan, William Rockefeller, and their business associates. When they went to the island, they all traveled aboard the private railroad car of Senator Nelson Aldrich. This was November of 1910, and he and 6 other men were told they mustn't be seen together, they couldn't dine together on that evening, and they must avoid newspaper reporters at all costs. One of them carried a shotgun. Just in case he had been confronted by a reporter, he was prepared to tell them that he was going on a duck hunting trip. When they got on board this railroad car, they were told not to address each other by last names, first names only. And 2 of them even went further and they adopted code names. They were concerned that the identities of all of these 7 men might be known to the servants on board the car, and that the servants might talk about it. In that fashion, the word would get out. Even when they got to the island and went to the clubhouse, they had replaced all of the normal servants with new servants who didn't know any of these people. And they created the Federal Reserve under those kinds of conditions of great secrecy. I can assure you that very few wars of history have ever been plotted under conditions of greater secrecy than that. In those days, there was
Mr. Griffin was going to go on to say that in those days, the attitude of the people, the Americans, was completely different than it is today. There weren't as many sheeple then, because there wasn't the control of the media that this group has gained control over like today. There was the media was actually a media, and the newspapers, if they would have got wind of this conspiracy taking place, and it was in 1910, and then they passed the Federal Reserve Act in December, late December, while everyone was on holiday. And most of the people who watch this video are going to know the history. And they created the Federal Reserve, which is a private banking cartel. They have a monopoly on the creation of money in the United States. And it's become the world's reserve currency. So these people have been able to create money out of thin air, and now they can create it on the computer screen, and they can buy off anybody they want. And I'll tell you what, don't you for a minute think that there isn't a phone call made and a certain politician is called up and he's assured that there's X number of dollars in his offshore bank account, and he's expected to vote a certain way. And these people have all been bought and paid for. These people who run our government are nothing but whores. Whores. They work for money and they work for their fame. They have a boss, and they're doing exactly what they are told to do. They've made a pact. They're going to keep their agreement, or they're going to end up embarrassed. They're going to end up with what this group has over them, and that's why they never get convicted, hardly ever. There was that one fella in New York a few years back during the 2008-2009. He went off the reservation, so to speak, and his private life was exposed. And he was a district attorney in New York. That's what happens to these people if they don't toe the line, if they don't do what they're expected to do. which they've promised to do in exchange for the wealth and power and fame that they have. So here we have a conspiracy in 1910, ends up in the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. Same year we got the IRS. And you can watch, I have another video out there, why the Federal Reserve note will collapse. And the collapse is guaranteed. These people know the collapse is in our future. And it's becoming sooner and sooner and sooner. It's coming our way. And anybody that's not aware of that, you need to get your head out of your posterior. Because this country is going to go through a collapse the likes of world history has never seen before. Every single fiat currency in the world is backed by nothing. Nothing. And it's your faith in that money system is going to collapse because it's a lot of people are starting to wake up. But here's the very end of a history lesson. This one's only a few weeks old. There's nothing new under the sun, folks. The same thing they did to Ross Perot, they are now doing to Trump. And let's have a look at this. Oops, there's one more clip I want to show you before we go to the news that just happened a couple weeks ago. I want to show you one more clip because it's important that this secret society has been working in our country for almost my entire lifetime. And here's a man who actually knew a lot about what was happening. And here's a clip. It's only a few minutes long.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no secret is revealed. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
I watched JFK get shot in 1963, I believe it was. I was only 11 or 12 years old at the time. Had a big impact on my life. But there you go. He says that these secret societies have secret oaths. They conspire together, folks. They've been doing it since at least 1964, wouldn't you say? And here's the last recording I want to show you. And this is the main reason why I believe Trump will not become the next president of the United States.
And now they're faced with a very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy. They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club. He's uncontrollable. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society. And I think that they don't see him. They have no idea how to relate to him.
Well, there you are, right from the mouth of Mr. Newt Gingrich, and what a piece of work he is, too, huh? He's probably one that knows. They can't buy Trump off. He's using his own money, just like Ross Perot did back in '92. He doesn't need their money. People, they're not going to let him in. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a jet accident. They'll do with him. They'll do with Mr. Trump like they did with Paul Wellstone. You remember that? They blew up the plane with a missile, and you hardly ever hear about it anymore. They just killed I believe they murdered Scalia. They murdered him on a Friday, and by Monday he was already cremated. Didn't do an autopsy. He's a Supreme Court justice opposed to what this group wants done. We call them the Oath Keepers. You know, that's kind of a play on words there if you get it. This is so entertaining to me. It's so much fun to watch what's going on. And all you people think that Trump is going to make a difference. He probably would, and that's why they don't want him in there. But he supports Israel and all the other. He didn't say one word about the Fed. You notice that? He's not talking about getting rid. Any of the really, really important problems, he hasn't brought those up at all. He knows if he does that, he's got no chance whatsoever, and he's probably going to get killed. Anyway, I certainly hope nothing happens to Mr. Trump, and but I don't have any hope that he's going to make any change to this country whatsoever, anything important. Go back to 1992, we got the same problems as Ross Perot he talked about during his campaign, and that was in 1992, 24 years ago. Same, only different. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you do, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.